Damn. I started coughing. What's up, guys? It's your boy Flash420Justice coming at you live from VR Chat. We're chilling here. We're going to be watching this video here shortly that's going to be to my left, up and to the left. And we're going to be talking about the contents of said video, which include the potential ban that nearly happened on all THC products here in Texas, and the veto that happened, thanks to the millions and millions of people that sent up, petitions and letters and all kinds of shit in order to convince Governor Greg Abbott to veto this bill. But wait till you hear about the people that are interested in this bill passing. The people that want marijuana to be made illegal. Wait till you hear about it. Just wait. All right. We had a whole audio situation a second ago, but we're good now. So, new stream, new hit. Cheers, guys. 3, 2, 1, go. Shit. You ain't choking, you ain't smoking. All right. Right, video. Governor. I almost said Governor. Governor Greg Abbott. We can thank Governor for some shit that he did, vetoing that bill. But the other dude, this other guy, we need to do something about him. Dan, whoever the fuck he is, the other guy, the one that wanted it passed, that's in that position to make bills like that, is fucking retarded. This guy, I can't believe you could be so fucking stupid. Sorry, pardon my French, but it's a serious topic for me. It makes me angry. All right, let's go. Let's start this.
The plot thickens in the debate over THC and cannabis in the state of Texas. Governor Abbott vetoed Senate Bill 3, an outright ban on consumable hemp in the state of Texas. He also called a special session to begin July 21st to debate whether and how to regulate the $8 billion industry that's popped up over the last few years. It restarts a fight between THC customers, veterans, and businesses, and those who want it banned. Teacher groups, doctor groups, alcohol companies, law enforcement, and...
Hold on right there. Let's go back a few seconds. You heard what this man just said? Oh, by the way, but look at that. Backwards 420. It's hard to see right there. I didn't click it on purpose. But these are the people that want this bill passed. They want to make weed illegal. Listen to this. Listen to this.
THC customers, veterans.
Those are the people that want it. Here's the people.
And those who want it banned. Teacher groups,
Teacher groups.
Alcohol.
Doctor groups.
Companies,
Alcohol companies? What do alcohol companies have to do with the THC industry? Are you booty hurt because everybody's buying weed instead of getting drunk? Is that because, oh my God, is that because this is a product that you could use daily that doesn't actually make your liver die? Oh my God, is this something that doesn't give you a hangover? What? It's almost like it's better. God, I'm reminded of that scene from that movie Walk Hard, the Dewey Cox story, where he first walks in and they're smoking weed, and he's like, "Get out of here. You don't want no part of this, Dewey." He said, "What are y'all doing? We're smoking reefer. Can't you smell it?" And of course, he ain't got no sense of smell. He lost it after he accidentally sliced his brother in half with a machete during a machete fight when they were kids. But he starts listing all these things. It's the cheapest drug there is. He's like, "I don't know. I don't want to get a hangover. It doesn't give you a hangover." "Well, I don't want to get addicted. It's non-habit forming." "Well, it sounds expensive. It's the cheapest drug there is." Sounds like I kind of want to try. You don't want any. You don't want it, Dewey. You don't want it. Okay, just this once. Come on in. Shut the door. Sheesh. But that's crazy. So teacher groups, doctor groups, and I heard the video. We didn't review it, but I seen the video before he vetoed it when they were talking about this. These people that were speaking out against it were using the same propaganda spiel from Reefer Madness, like pre-1950s type shit. This is crazy. Their whole logic and reasoning is like, he had one edible and then he walked in front of a train and died. But like, he died because he ate that edible. Like, no, he died because the fucking train hit him. What the fuck? Why is he on a train track? And if he's on a train track, it's probably some more shit in his system, than just some weed if he can't get the fuck out of the way. I mean, what are you doing? You sit there to get to that point on weed alone. You'd have to have so many way more. It'd have to be the most powerful edible you ever had in your life, and you have zero tolerance to it, and you just crawled on your hands and knees, puking up to the railroad tracks, and then laid down on it. That's how you died on the railroad tracks. I'm not sure anybody on any drug would try to do that. I mean, there are some crazy drugs out there, but that's not what I'm getting at. Weed alone, obviously he's on some other shit. Weed alone ain't gonna fucking do that to you. And if you are to that point on weed, there's no way you're fucking walking to some fucking railroad tracks. The fuck? Did you live next to it? Do you have to walk outside, step off your porch, and step on the railroad tracks? How did this happen? You were drunk or something. And see, that's the other reason. Alcohol companies coming after the weed industry? That's crazy. What? What? That's insane to me. That's insane.
Law enforcement and social conservatives.
And of course,
it also pits two of the most powerful people in the state.
Did they say social?
And those who want it, businesses, and those who want it banned. Teacher groups, doctor groups, alcohol companies, law enforcement, and social conservatives.
Social conservatives? So socialism and communism. Did you guys know Hitler was a socialist? Dang, that's crazy. That's crazy. So basically, the Nazi Republicans, not that all Republicans are Nazis, because they're not. These days, I'd say more Democrats are Nazis in certain situations because they're literally, it's kind of that situation like you're projecting, it's a psychological thing where they say the other person is doing what they're doing, and they're doing it right now. Like when they were calling Elon Musk a Nazi or Trump a Nazi, that was just, and then they would go out and they would do actual guerrilla like warfare type Nazi tactics, terror tactics to force people, like the mafia. That's literally what if there wasn't cameras everywhere, all this shit, they would just get away with absolutely everything, just like they have been for the past couple decades. I don't even know how long it's been. Dude, it's been corrupt, probably since our forefathers passed, because they were the ones that were trying to fight the corruption. Probably a little corruption there too, one or two of them. But we gotta figure this out. Anyways, this is a long video. Let's get into this.
It also pits two of the most powerful people in the state against each other. Governor Abbott, who wants to legalize and regulate THC, and Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick, who wants to make it illegal even for adults.
Look at him.
And we're going to explore the real-world impacts of the debate that's happening in the state capitol. So we're here in Fort Worth to talk to Governor Abbott, who wants to legalize and regulate THC,
Let's look at him.
And Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick.
All right, Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick. This guy is a fucking dickhole. All right? Everybody absorb the image of his face. All right? Because we need him the fuck up out of here. All right? We got to get this guy out of here. We got to do something. We got to protest outside his building or whatever. Either way, we got to get him out of here. All right? Whoever this, look at him. Let's look at his demeanor. Look at the way he sits there. Look at his one raised eyebrow and his unamused look. This guy has never smoked a joint in his entire life, and the happiness that people feel when they smoke a joint drives him so mad that he wants nobody to have that happiness, and he wants everybody to be as mad and angry and as sad as this man is. Look at that frown. It is literally an upside down smile. Look at him. He is literally frowning. He's literally unhappy. All right.
Patrick, who wants to make it illegal even for adults.
Yeah, he does.
And we're going to explore the real-world impacts of the debate that's
crazy.
happening in the state capitol. So we're here in Fort Worth to talk to Candace Stinnett. She's the owner of Emerald Organics, this hemp store. She opened this in 2019, and she opened it right after lawmakers allowed hemp products to be sold in the state of Texas. Since then, there's about 8,000 hemp licenses, but not all of them are like stores like this. She has 11 people that work for her, and she tells us that she has about 100 customers come in and out every day. So we'll go talk to her. What's the mood like?
Very uncertain times right now, which is causing a ripple effect, leading to this uncertainty is leading to frustration, feelings of loss, grief, and it's just a little unstable right now. Because
you don't know if some of your products will be legal or not come September.
No idea. And the good thing is that we'll know within very soon, but the uncertainty, it lingers every day. And do I stock up on more products? Do I chill right now and let it kind of work its way out until we just don't know? And that is the very sad thing, I guess.
And what are the stakes for you and this business?
We would shut down.
Really?
There would be, with the SB3 ban, it does away with all cannabinoids except for CBD and CBG.
How many of these products that you sell are THC?
Yeah,
all of them.
How many of the products? I would say over 60%, because again, the benefits of the full plant, which does include THC and the hemp plant. I mean, the hemp plant offers a wide variety of benefits for health, nutrition, and even industrially. And on the consumption side, it helps people to find overall well-being in their day-to-day lives,
just
whether
legalize
it be
it for everybody.
stress, sleep, just trying to unwind from a long day, and they're wanting to ban that. Ban the plant.
And how many do you think are coming here for health reasons? And then how many are coming just because they like THC?
I would say majority use it to find relief from whatever they're suffering with, whether it be emotionally, mentally, physically.
Yeah, relief. Hey man, when you wake up in the morning or you had a long day, maybe it's not even in the morning, maybe it's at the end of the day. Some people, they smoke different. You know, come home, long day, you've been working hard, your feet hurt. You get in, you take that rip, whatever it is, you roll your spliff, your joint, you fucking blunt, you grab your cart, you load your bong, you heat up your rig, you know, whatever it is you're doing. You drop that dab, you light that up. Sheesh. Man, that relief, that immediate relief, relaxation. You know, and it says it right there. I don't know if a lot of people don't know this, but, and it makes me mad because people call it the devil's lettuce. But in actuality, in the Bible, it says in Genesis, God gave us everything green, bearing seed. And he also said after that, he saw that it was good. So how can it be bad if God saw that it was good and he made it for us to use? All right. Point proven. Let's get back at it.
Or even just to hang out with friends on the weekends and just unwind and have a good time. So we see it all. But I would say majority come in here for those nutritional benefits.
Yeah. You obviously had to learn a lot how the legislative process works.
Yeah,
what was that like?
You know, we learned as we went. We learned as I went along with that, being a part of the Texas Hemp Coalition and having weekly meetings and trying to understand the intricacies, the ins and outs, and how to talk to these, people that we voted into office and going and knocking on their doors.
What surprised you? Was there anything that you had a vision of?
They're squares. They've never smoked before.
That's not how it works.
Right.
We need to get them high.
I thought I was
send them some
going to talk to the
brownies,
President of the
like they
United
did in that
States, 'cause it
movie,
was,
How High?
It's a little intimidating going to talk to the people that we voted into office. But they're just normal people just like us, and they want an understanding of this plant. I think that's where there's a gap, is this bill to ban THC. I think that there's just a lack of understanding of it and also a lack of regulation of it. And I think that's where we should meet, is at the corner of education and sensible regulation. And we worked on that with, while having these meetings, the adult use only, no marketing to kids. I have a paper right here that shows exactly putting a cap on the servings, like a 10 milligram cap.
Here's another thing about the whole marketing to kids thing. Because they're that's their whole argument, because it's got all these flavors. They're somehow, marketing it to kids. Bro, you're literally taking away the good shit for us. We like that stuff. It's, if they're marketing to the kids, they're marketing to the kids of all ages, because we are some big ass kids when we go into that store. It's like a kid in a candy store. You know what I'm saying? That's literally us when we walk into the shop, and all these different flavors and stuff are everywhere. We want that. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, it's not just kids. Everybody reacts that way to bright colors and shit. That's literally, it's what colors do. They catch your eyes. They're designed, these products are designed to catch your eye. It's not just for kids. Like, they're not even trying to market it to kids in the first place. Like, they're trying to say that's what they're doing, though. They're like, oh yeah, we're marketing towards kids. That's why the Teachers Coalition is after them in the first place. They're, we got to protect the kids. You need to leave.
It's kind of like,
shit. Oh, wait. Yeah. Sorry, I had to get a close up here for this moment, guys. This is
you wouldn't
happening.
want to go to a fast food restaurant and order everything on the menu and eat all of it. I mean, it's going to make you sick. You're not going to.
Yeah, what the fuck?
Rules on how powerful some of this stuff is.
Yeah, because, you don't want to, if someone is uneducated,
stay in your
you
lane.
Give them a 50 milligram product that's going to make them sick. Just like you wouldn't want to go into a liquor store and drink the whole entire bottle of alcohol. So
Yeah,
hiding
yeah.
these in
If you started drinking yesterday, you wouldn't go to just get some damn moonshine and just be like, all right, I'm going to drink like the hillbillies up there in the fucking mountains. I'm not gonna, what the, you don't go from drinking Smirnoff Ice to, like 211. You know what I mean? It doesn't make sense. You don't start on wine coolers and then the next day do fucking hard liquor. All right.
place will help to better
Same
regulate
shit.
the market, better to educate.
Because you think that there are good and bad actors, and the
Oh, yes.
regulations would have solved
Yeah.
the bad actor problem.
You know,
Some
there's bad
motherfuckers
actors
are
in
like
almost
sassy.
every
They just want to be
industry.
like,
There's
oh yeah,
bad
mate,
actors in almost every
fucking
family.
eat this
But,
triple snipper,
you know,
mate.
you don't just get rid of them. Get rid of everything. The bad actors will eventually weed themselves out, and the people that are there for a quick buck to make very low quality synthetic products or products that are marketed and doing it the wrong way, they always end up seeing themselves out.
And have you ever heard of the people in state government, Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick, or did you ever think about the state government before?
Look at this guy. They keep
this
using
year
that
and
picture.
seriously getting in your business?
It has been a few years leading up to this, and we worked directly with the
He's
Speaker's
always got
office
this.
to
You know what?
create
You know what? In
some
that other
kind
picture,
of
we got to go
It has
back for this.
been a few years leading.
You ever heard of the
Hold
people
on,
in
hold
state
on.
government?
This guy right
Lieutenant
here.
Governor Dan Patrick.
This guy, okay, hold on.
Or did you
So
ever think
see,
about
he has
it?
another thing I want to note about his eyes and then the way he looks. He kind of looks smug, doesn't he? Look smug. He has a smug look. All right.
Government before
Okay, so we see that
this year, and
smug
they
look. Let's
are
look at the
seriously
next
getting-
picture. Does he still look smug? He does look smug. You know, you remember that South Park episode where everybody was really smug and they went around smelling their own farts and then people started spontaneously combusting because they were sniffing their own farts? It was building a methane buildup of methane in their body, basically. Yeah. Okay. This is that guy. He's
Getting your
smug.
business.
He's so smug. He
It
likes
has
the
been
smell
a
of his
few
own
years
farts.
leading up to this, and we worked directly with the Speaker's office to create some kind of regulation as opposed to doing away with the industry as a whole in Texas. And those regulations were based off of what Dan Patrick was saying, like they're harming kids. Well, although that is not true, we put this regulation of, okay, these stores must be 21 and over. So
Bro, hold on,
adult
hold
use
on,
only
hold on.
market.
But he said at one point.
Look. Let's be real for a second. Bro. When did you first start smoking weed? Were any of these products out when we were kids? No. We still got a hold of it. If somebody's going to do something, they're going to do it. All right? You can the best shit you could do to help that person is to just educate them on the topic as much as you can so they understand what this is, what it does, what you're doing, you know. Instead of just being, oh, it's bad, don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. It's bad. Don't do it. It's really bad. It's really, really bad. Don't do it. Don't do it. It's really bad. Don't do it. Just don't do it. But why is it bad? Just don't do it. Just don't do it. Listen to your father. All right? Just don't do it. Listen to your government. All right? We'll put you in jail if you do it. Don't do it. All right. Let's get back into this video.
Point, he says they don't want adults using this as well.
And why? We don't know why. When it has shown to have many therapeutic benefits in low dose THC and CBD combined with other cannabinoids, the plant.
They view it as a vice, right? Just that they view it just like marijuana.
There is, and even I was stuck in that until My story is that I went through cancer treatments when I was 21 years old. And when I went through those treatments, I met someone that was my age, because I was in my early 20s. I met someone going through the same cancer treatments as me, and we were the same age. And he just kind of introduced me to the medicinal and therapeutic benefits of the plant. And then fast forward 10 years later, my aunt was diagnosed with cancer, and she wasn't getting out of bed. After all the treatment, she wasn't getting out of bed. She wasn't eating. And when she started consuming the plant, it just turned her whole quality of life around.
Yeah,
And she
weed
was
makes you
coming over to
hungry.
my house and walking my dogs, eating all the food that I'd cooked, and then asking for more. And that's what flipped the switch in me. Like, why was I always told that this plant was so harmful? But I'm seeing it right before my eyes help my aunt just live a comfortable life until it was her time.
And what does it feel like knowing that it could go away here at the end of the year?
I am so connected to the people that come in here, and
Oh shit, she's getting
knowing what
teary-eyed.
they come in here for, whether they're stressed or having anxiety about something, or can't sleep because of a loss in their family, or they're struggling emotionally, mentally, physically, whatever it may be. Just, I think about them and what would happen to them. Me, I'll be fine, but not being able to serve and love on them is what's really going to be hard.
So this conversation really started a few years ago, like in 2018, when President Trump signed into law the Farm Bill, and then 2019, when Texas lawmakers passed a bill that allowed farmers to grow and sell hemp. But then they had something on paper, state law, saying that people could sell hemp products in the state of Texas. What they didn't expect, though, is that people would chemically alter hemp and make Delta 8, Delta 9, Delta 10, and then sell those products to retailers, those THC products that you now see in roughly 8,000 state licensed stores. But the thing is, people notice, including State Senator Charles Perry, who wrote that 2019 hemp bill, and then, most importantly, Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick, arguably the most powerful person in state government as leader of the Texas Senate. They argued, they sat there and said, we did not
There's those two
legalize
smug
recreational
pictures again.
marijuana or recreational THC. So Senator Perry filed Senate Bill 3 this year, and Lieutenant Governor Patrick made it one of his top priorities. So now we're here to talk to Gromer Jeffers from the Dallas Morning News. He's the co-host with me of Lone Star Politics. So I've
Yo,
been here
let's
for about,
go. This is
it'll
my
be 2 years in
hometown.
July. He's been covering
Dallas,
Texas
Fort
politics
Worth. Let's
for
go.
years and years, maybe 2 decades. Before this, he was in Kansas City, and people know Gromer. I mean, we get
stomping
in places
grounds.
that we shouldn't get into because
whole
people know
area.
Gromer and they trust Gromer because of just how long he's been covering this. So we'll go get some context from him. I'm not a THC guy,
right?
But I am learning. I know a lot of THC people because this issue has broken through to kind of the general public.
He's advocating for us, guys.
Yeah, I mean, at the beginning of the session, and quite frankly, when I guess 2019, the Farm Bill was passed that sort of created this industry through a
Yeah, how many years is that,
loophole.
guys?
I
2019.
didn't think much about THC, and all of a sudden
It actually happened in
exploded as an
2018.
issue. And I'm like, wow, where did this come from?
Mid-session.
And then was
there's
enacted
so much
in 2019.
passion on both sides, and then you hear like ban. And a lot of times bans don't happen. Right?
That's
They
why
just
on the
talk
print
about
on the
ban
back of
it,
those
and then
things
there's
it
some
says
sort
in
of middle
compliance
ground that
with
they
2018
find. Not
Farm
in this
Bill
case,
Act.
though. It was interesting, and so now you have a governor. It's all like put in his lap, and Phil, I kind of think he's like us. He had his emergency items. He was thinking about other things.
School choice vouchers,
bail policy, water, all of that, and then now he has to make a decision about THC,
which may be what this session is going to be remembered for.
Yeah, because let's say if he vetoes it, then yeah,
He already did.
The fallout from that will be intense, because the era of good feelings between Lieutenant Governor Patrick and the governor and the speaker to some degree, that might be over.
What's interesting to me about this is it shows how the individual people at the top, what Lieutenant Governor Patrick, Governor Abbott, Speaker of the House Dustin Burrows, what they want really shifts state policy, like as an individual.
Especially if they really want it, right?
Because I don't think
These
any
guys
of these
talk
lawmakers came
kinda
in
slow.
to the legislative session thinking we're going to go in and ban THC, but it passed with tweaks, but it passed with wide numbers. I mean, once they got
Now
the
it
signal
sounds
from
like
the
a
leaders, they were
normal
like, all right, I guess we're
conversation.
going this way.
Yeah, and again, the power of the Lieutenant Governor. He's basically said, guys, I want this one. That's what I want this one.
I wish I could
And
do
the
this in real
governor
life.
said that. He said it. No,
Speed
I
people's
want
gonna
education.
spit it out.
This is what I want.
What are you saying? Shut
all
up.
this other stuff is important, but I want this. And this is what Patrick said about who knew that he was so passionate until we knew, right? And you're right. One of the big three, if they want something, they're going to fight hard to get it, and it's going to come out of their chamber, or from their bully pulpit, and they're going to keep trying until they get it. The question is, again, I talked to Abbott the other day, and he had it's like a smirk on his face, and I was like, he's probably thinking, oh my God, they dropped this in my lap.
Yeah.
Why me? I mean, so whatever he does, right?
Well, and they did expand the compassionate use program to say, if you get a doctor to say you need this, there are some options. They just don't like it. Anybody, Phil and Gromer, just wants it, can go buy it.
Yeah, exactly, but it's easier for Phil, like if you're in pain or something. Yeah. Or what if Phil just wants a gummy to help him sleep? It's a hard night at NBC, right?
It's against the law.
Right.
Right, it will be, right? But should it be? I mean, you got adults out there like, wait a minute. You know?
Anything else
We're
you think is
adults.
interesting about this?
It's not hurting anyone. You're not hurting anyone. You're not, interfering with anybody else's life. I feel like you should be able to do what you want. You know what I'm saying? In those circumstances, you're choosing to put it in your body. That's your choice. So let people live their fucking
I do
lives,
think
like,
that
right?
it's THC today. What is it tomorrow, right? We didn't think about THC.
Yeah,
at the beginning.
THC today. What is
are
it
the
tomorrow?
issues
He
that
got a
is
good
coming up?
point.
Since the legislature, Phil, we talked about this many times, it's on this not sort of libertarian bent, not less government. We're going to be up in your business if we think that you're doing wrong.
They almost got rid of the lottery.
Yes.
I mean, they survived just barely.
Just barely.
And they're, the Republicans in charge now are okay with using the power of the state to move the state in a direction that they want to, business-wise, morally-wise.
Yes, exactly.
And
especially if they suspect children are involved. That's the number one excuse.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, this is Texas.
The children want somebody please think about the children.
It's a rowdy state. So one thing we've heard in this debate over SB3 is that the supporters of it, especially Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick, have gotten a lot of criticism for taking money from the alcohol and beer industry. So what are the facts? So since 2023, I crunched the numbers, and so for the two main beer distributor groups, the Beer Alliance of Texas and the Wholesale Beer Distributors of Texas, he's taken about $95,000. Now that sounds like a lot until you know that they've given $1.4 million to Texas politicians in general. So that's just 7%. And then they also bring up John Now from Silver Eagles Beverages,
shit.
It's a local beer distributor. Now he has given $450,000 to Lieutenant Governor Patrick, but that's out of $2.7 million
Holy
he's given
shit.
to other
See,
Texas politicians.
these motherfuckers have special interests. They're getting money from these people, and they're pushing agendas they want them to push. This is the same reason, honestly, this is the real reason why Trump got elected right here. If y'all don't remember, back in 2016, I know it was a long time ago, but that was his whole spiel, is that he wasn't taking money from these lobbyists and all these people and whatnot, and because he already had his own money. He didn't need it to campaign. He had his own money already. He spent out of pocket. He was taking some donations from some people that liked his stuff, but he wasn't taking money from these big, Bloomberg and the Rockefellers and the Rothschilds and the, everybody loves to use Soros, but it's just like, honestly, and the lady who runs Walmart now, that probably, I'm not even going to say that. But anyways, let's get back into it.
Well, so that's about 16% has gone directly to Dan Patrick. So he has taken money.
Directly to Dan Patrick. Directly to Dan Patrick. We got to get this motherfucker out of here. He's taking bribes. He's literally, it's not illegal, but it's like, it's got to be some kind of loophole, man.
It's like everybody else in the state capitol. What I really think the story is here,
we got to figure this shit out,
is it's not just the beer and alcohol people that want it. There's also a pretty broad coalition. These are the documents from the committee hearing where people had to say whether they're for or against SB3. So groups like the Texas Eagle Forum, Texas Values, Christian conservative groups, they're for it. But a lot of law enforcement groups as well, like the Texas Police Chiefs Association, the Texas Municipal Police Association, the Houston Police Officers. Then you have other groups like the Texas Medical Association and the Texas Pediatric Society, so the doctors, and then also the teachers groups like the Texas American Federation of Teachers. So what you
so they just go to each of these people and they coerce them. It's kind of like in situations where you see somebody who say they're doing like a First Amendment audit. Oh shit, my bad. They're doing a First Amendment audit, right? Cheers, by the way. Let's take a hit. Real quick. Where's my card at? So they're doing like a First Amendment audit outside this building, and the people there, they don't want him there, but they can't do anything about him because he's doing a First Amendment protected activity. He's within his rights as an American citizen. And so they call the cops show up, they talk to him, they don't get any information from him, and then they go inside the building, talk to the people, and they try to coerce the people to trespass him from the property. In a lot of these cases, they can't, because he's not even really on the property, or it's a public, property. It's not private property. And you can't be trespassed from private property. And in a lot of places, coercing a trespass, or eliciting a trespass by an officer eliciting a trespass, I should say, is illegal. And so if they go and do that, and then you get trespassed from a building, that is illegal in a lot of places. So, it's like the same shit. It's like they go into place and they're coercing these people, and they're like, hey, yeah, do this. And maybe they're even paying them. We don't know. This is all in theory at this moment, but maybe they're even paying him. They got all this money. He got how much money from all these people? Basically millions of dollars, 400,000 from one, and then another, right?
Christian conservative groups, therefore, but 7%. And then they also bring up John Now from the Beer Alliance of Texas and the Wholesale Beer Distributors of Texas. He's taken about $95,000. Now that sounds like a lot until you know that they've given $1.4 million to Texas politicians in general. So that's just 7%. And then they also bring up John Now from Silver Eagles Beverages. It's a local beer distributor. Now he has given $450,000 to Lieutenant Governor Patrick, but that's out of $2.7 million he's given to other Texas politicians as well. So that's about 16% has gone directly to
these
Patrick.
people. They're buying all of them. I missed that earlier when we were watching this. I missed that. They're buying all of them. All the politicians, they're going around and they're buying these people.
Of teachers. So what you have is really a broad coalition who wanted this ban on THC.
Thank
This
you,
is
Bill Webber,
crazy.
Tarrant County Sheriff. And listen, I stand here shoulder to shoulder with these guys because of the evil.
Well, this guy looks like my uncle with the hat and the red tie.
Please move to the right just a little bit.
Involved in this. The three people.
What the hell is going on?
Senate Bill 3 passed.
Right.
From a law enforcement.
What was that? What was that on their editing? What? Hold on. Let's watch that again. I thought I was tripping. What is this?
Please move to the
Okay.
right just a little bit.
Involved in this. The three people.
Didn't turn his mic on.
Senate Bill 3 passed.
Nobody
From a
told
law
him.
enforcement perspective, what's the problem that SB 3 is trying to solve?
Well, several years ago, we widened the loopholes for THC to come into Texas, which was a mistake.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we've got to close those. And I'll give you
No, shut
the
up.
answer I can give you is right when I came into office in 2017, is that I got a briefing by MH mental health authorities, and they said 25% of the jail population needed mental health services.
Mm-hmm.
Today, that number, post THC coming into our world, is nearly 70%. And I believe THC is at the
Bro.
tip of the spear.
That's his reasoning. That's crazy because that's his reasoning. That's insane. That's insane. How does that correlate to those things? How does that link? Oh, look. Oh, this. True. There is an epidemic rise of mental health problems in America, but they're definitely not coming from THC, because the use of THC in our population is so much lower than that rise. That population of people with mental health problems is way less than the number of people that smoke weed, or it's way more. I mean, sorry, I'm high. You can't just say that. That's crazy. That is crazy work right there, what he's doing. That is not the sign of a good detective. A good detective always never jumps to conclusions without all the right evidence. Never. What he's done is he has got one bit of evidence and then he's jumped to a conclusion. Not a good detective. Yeah, you can tell this guy just never made a detective and gave up and was like, well, I'm going to control the police department, then I'm going to be a police politician. Just gave up on his dreams and decided to ruin other people's lives because he's an idiot. Well, that's crazy. That's crazy. Yeah, no. Where the mental health problems are actually coming from. A lot of people don't know this, but unless you've been following, RFK Jr. over here. This guy having us get rid of all these chemicals that are in a lot of our products that kids eat. So they're starting them young, and those are causing mental health problems. We're removing them now. That influx that he's seeing isn't because of THC. It's because those kids have grown up right around this time we started doing it. It's just a coincidence. It's literally just a coincidence. And he doesn't have enough evidence to say those things.
Here, and I've talked to several mental health people, and they absolutely agree that high levels of THC are part of the cause of our mental health crisis. And of course, the rest of the cocktail.
I've talked to several. I won't name any because I don't actually know any.
When you say mental health issues, what do you mean? Are it just people using it for recreational, getting high to have fun, or what?
Absolutely, and it wasn't their daddy's marijuana.
Absolutely. I didn't name one of those things, but absolutely. All of those things you just listed for me, yeah, absolutely.
High THC levels in it, the high THC levels in the vaping. And what we've seen is that...
Yeah. And here's another thing with the vaping. Bro, first off, when it comes, me personally, a lot of people, it's different. Me personally, I prefer to vape it because, for one, voice acting, I like to do a lot of different voices and stuff. It's less harsh on my throat. My vocal cords and stuff, that's all right here. And smoking in general, when you're smoking a joint, I have to smoke way more of a joint to get high that I want than I do with vape. I take one hit off that vape and I'm like, damn, I'm baked and I'm good. I'm happy, versus like a whole ass joint. You got to sit there and burn that bitch, and it's hot and it's, a lot of people are different though. A lot of people prefer that over the vape. And, and those are your choices. But, as far as I'm concerned, the more concentrated it is, the better it is for me, because then the less I have to do and the longer it lasts. And then I can regulate it easier. I don't have to sit over here and, take a hit every 2 minutes or every 5 seconds with a joint. It's just like every few seconds you gotta, that's how you smoke a joint. That's how you smoke in general. But this guy, it's better that way. It's better, more concentrated, because then you use less of the product, and it lasts longer. It's better.
They become schizophrenic. They become
schizophrenic.
Like I said, the super paranoia and the psychosis.
First off, I've got friends that are schizophrenic, actually schizophrenic. Being schizophrenic, that one guy described how sometimes he looks at dogs and they freak him out because when he looks at them and he sees their teeth, he sees human teeth. He doesn't see dog teeth. So it freaks him out. And that's because he's schizophrenic. You don't get high and look at dogs and see human teeth. That is a serious psychological issue that is affecting his visual cortex portion of his brain. All right. You gotta understand that, man. That's not, weed can't do that. I don't know how much weed you got to do that and how concentrated it's got to be. I've had, what is that? There's this, I forget what it's called, but it's almost like looking like tar because of how dense it is with the THC. You put just like a drop of that on your tongue, and I'm talking, I was high as fuck and I had to go eat a sandwich just so I could calm down a little bit. That shit was good. That shit was good. But even that, I wasn't tripping off my fucking balls. I'm not over here seeing, shit that's not there. This isn't a psychedelic. It's marijuana. It's not a psychedelic. It's psychoactive, meaning that it alters your mood, but that's it. And that whole paranoia and stuff, like if you just started smoking, you might feel a little bit of that, but daily smokers don't feel that. We use it. Daily users do not feel that. That is a beginning stages thing. Side effects in the beginning may include, and then listed really fast below.
Well, they're just not there. And unfortunately, I've talked to parents who have kids that have vaped some of this stuff, and their 17-year-old is no longer 17; they're 10, and they're not coming back.
And I understand that it's hard to test what is legal.
They're 10 and they're not coming back. How did? What? I guarantee you. Look, if something's happening, if you're vaping something and it's literally what? How does that even make any sense? Hold on, wait. Look, and this is the same thing the lady was talking about earlier. Bad actors, the people putting stuff in their vapes. That was happening in the UK. They were putting vitamin E and fish oil and shit in that because they were trying to stretch out their products. If they made it easier and more efficient for these people to get their shit, then they wouldn't, there'd probably be a lot less bad actors out there. But if they regulate shit like that better and, put laws in place, like say, hey, this is against the law, you can't put this shit in there. And then if somebody buys some shit and then test it, and they find vitamin E or fish oil in their shit, then that person, they could go sue that person, or they could fucking get a fine or some shit, be jailed maybe even, because those people are the people that are hurting people. If something like this actually happens to somebody, it's that person's fault, and it's because of an ulterior chemical that was applied, not actually part of the plant. I'll revert back to what we said earlier. All right. It's in the Bible. God gave us everything green, bearing seed. All right. Boom.
What is not? For somebody
It's
who
not
doesn't
the
know how
devil's
that works.
lettuce.
Absolutely, and we have arrested people that probably had what was considered legal. Come to find out that it was the hemp that was supposed to be under 3%. So it's hard to distinguish what's legal and what's not legal.
Because officers and deputies don't have the testing materials
That's a good
to
point,
do it.
though.
Right.
You know what? Some of the weed is getting pretty fucking good that they have at the store. It smells like good shit, but it doesn't get you high. It's just like you smoke it and you're smoking like an ounce of this shit and you're like, I'm not high. After like 3 joints, if I'm not high off your shit, like the first joint, I should be high off like half of it. You know what I mean? But I'm not gonna high off the first joint. I'm not gonna smoke any more of your shit. Like
right there on site.
Right.
There's a group of folks who will say, hey, this also helps their mental health, that whether it's veterans trying to recover from PTSD. What do you think of that argument? Because some people say this does
Manny, shout out to Manny.
Probably,
Sniper, and he's a tank mechanic. He's the GOAT.
People who say, hey, I no longer have seizures. Fantastic. So I think the medical medicine that it helps, we should always look at. We always should be pro. We want the compassionate stuff to happen. We want the people to be treated. It's when we get into this level of THC goes from 3% to 20% that we should be concerned with.
Would you be supportive of
3% to 20%? 20%
20%
ain't even strong. What is he talking about? 20% ain't even strong. Is this what he's worried about? 20% THC content. What am I sitting on right now that I got in my hand? This is 98%, right? 97 or some shit. It's in the 90s. Dude, you know what? Speaking of that, cheers. Cheers. Cheers, everybody. Take a hit. Take a hit. We're almost done with this video anyways. Cheers. That's actually crazy.
through the compassionate use program.
Right.
And is that different from Phil saying by himself, I want it, I just want to go buy it at a vape shop?
It's 100% different.
Okay.
And we got to rely on the integrity of our medical families to do that. That community needs to make sure that their integrity is in place and be watchful of their own people.
How is SB 3 going to be enforced, do you think?
Well, that's a good question. So we will, when it becomes law in a few short months, I see a lot of voluntary stuff. I see people who are selling that stuff now that are honest people, and they're going to just quit selling it. Is what I hope for and what I think. Now, if they don't, there will be probably things put in place where law enforcement can take action.
So it would be a felony to have it on your body?
Depending on what level it is.
A felony? A felony! They want to take away your Second Amendment for having this product, for trying to live your life and feel relief. They want your guns gone. They're coming for your guns, guys. This guy right here, he doesn't want you to have guns if you have marijuana. If you use marijuana, he does not want you to have guns.
It could be.
It's like, oh man, did you ever? What was that from? There, it's a clip. I'm pretty sure it's probably one of those parody things, but where the guy's like, "Oh, what are you doing, bro?" And he's like, "I'm just so high," and he's holding a shotgun and he points it at himself. He's like, "No, dude, don't do that." It's like nobody does that. Nobody does that. Everybody knows guns are dangerous. You don't point them at yourself or anybody you don't intend to kill. Because guns do not kill people. People with guns kill people. A gun can't jump up and shoot somebody, right? No. Sheesh. Yeah, you started smoking because of the problems, not the other way around, right? Real talk, chat, real talk.
Lowest class B, I think, or as high as a felony, depending.
What do you think happens to the businesses that have popped up, the vape shops?
I think that we will see some of them go away. And, as I understand it, and I haven't looked at the map personally.
No, you won't.
I'm told that there's 1,800 shops that popped up in Texas over the last few years. And by no coincidence,
a lot more than
across the
that.
street from junior highs. So I think we'll see some of those closing down, or going out of business, or packing up and going someplace else.
Across the street from junior highs? Look, man.
When you look back on where this debate has gone over the last year and a half, what do you think? What's the big picture on this? What's the story here?
I think that the legislature's got firsthand view of the damage that was done by it through various testimonies and physical evidence, and I think that they saw, hey, we got to do course correction on this, and that's what they did. And I think it's going to help. I hope it does anyway. And I think the big picture is why Texas wants everybody to bask in liberty and freedoms. There's some things that we need to control, and that having a
First
shop
off,
across the street full of THC from
hold
junior
on.
high is not what we need.
But we'll find
Let's stop him right there. Oh, across the street from junior high is not what we need. Which one of those junior high kids can walk in the store and buy it? Not one of them. Not one. Not one. Even looks old enough. And if they did, he'd still get carded. We have laws already that prevent kids from getting this shit. They can't get it. Them seeing it across the street from the school is irrelevant. They're going to fucking find out about it. We all have smartphones. Everybody has smartphones. You're literally born with a smartphone in your pocket these days. There's... We got chips you can put in your head these days, man. You can have a smartphone in your brain. All right. What? We're going to have access. You're going to figure this shit out. You're going to see it in media. You're going to see it everywhere. All right. It's a plant. It grows. All right. You need to be educated about it instead of just restricting and saying you can't have it. And then, oh, this is bad. Why is it bad? Well, some bad shit happened to a few people, but not because of this plant, because of some other shit that was mixed with it. Like, oh, well, it sounds like it's not the plant's problem. Like, no, but the plant's bad. We should ban it. We should ban it. No, but what? No. That doesn't make any sense.
Find out more in the days ahead. Now, some lawsuits have already been filed over this issue, but as of now, it looks like the people who want to legalize and regulate it and the people who want to ban it, they're both not moving. So something to keep an eye on in the days ahead. Some people in the state capitol tell me that a possible middle ground may be the slow expansion of the TCUT program. That's the Texas Compassionate Use Program, allowing people to use cannabis with a prescription from their doctor. Right now, it's pretty limited. Kids with epilepsy, Texans with disabilities, some veterans. Could that be expanded in this special session? We'll find out in July. Or
that's one of the things, that was one of the most amazing things I had heard. I remember when they had first started doing like actual medical testing and stuff, was these kids with one kid in particular, had a seizure, basically like every few minutes through the whole day would be having seizures, basically. And it was uncontrollable. And then the moment they started giving him this concentrated, CBD oil, it fucking completely stopped the seizures. It went down to, like one every few days, and then down to one a week, and then it was just now it seemed like they could actually live their life. When you're having seizures every few minutes of the day, it's hard for you to, what's that word? Develop. It's hard for you to develop. And that's like the biggest thing. You need to develop when you're growing up. You got to learn things. You got to go live your life. You got to touch grass. We all got to touch grass. And if you're having seizures constantly, you can't touch grass. You're falling on the carpet, and they're trying to keep you from swallowing your tongue. That's all you're doing. You can't live your life, and that's terrible. And to hear that products like this can help people is deeply moving to me. And for people like this to come just because they got paid by somebody, just to take a bribe to come in here and ruin millions of people's lives. You know what I mean? It's sickening. So get out there and do something about it, crowd. This has been Flash420Justice. I don't think there's anything left in this video.
Or they may just have to take this to the election and to find out what Texas voters believe about their specific positions on the cannabis issue.
Hey,
but one thing is for sure, this
check
story
YouTube.
is not over. We have much more
it ain't
content
over.
on NBCDFW.com. YouTube,
Shout out to, I don't usually watch these networks, but this one was an okay take from NBC. Shout out to this guy for not, but you see what he's doing right in this moment. Hold on. We said something about it. I just want to go back real quick and point it out one more time. When he's talking to this cop here.
So they're just not there. And unfortunately, I've talked to parents who have kids that
don't have the testing materials to do it right there on site.
Right.
There's a group of folks who will say, hey, this also helps their mental health, that whether it's veterans trying to recover from PTSD. What do you think of that argument? Because some people say this does help.
That high levels of THC is causing, or part of the
using it for recreational, getting high.
All right, this right here.
When you say mental health issues, what do you mean? Is just people using it for recreational?
Now, did you see? I don't know if you noticed this. If we got enough zoom on that, you might. I just noticed it. 52. We'll go back to 50. Now, I want you to watch the cop's eyes here when he asked this question, because he doesn't know the answer to, and he's searching for the answer in his brain, because he doesn't really probably even believe any of this shit.
Using it for recreational, getting high.
Hold on. Until this guy lists something. Let's go back a little bit further.
When you say mental health issues.
Okay, so he asked this question. When you say
what do you mean?
health
Just
issue,
people
what do you mean?
Using it for recreational, getting high.
See, using it, and he's looking around, and then using it for getting recreational high, and he's looking down, and he's like, "Oh, that's a good one." See his fingers even pointing. He's like, "Hey, you just gave me that."
Fun or what?
Absolutely.
So he's his body language, and then he looks back, and he's saying, "Oh, absolutely, absolutely."
All of a sudden,
and see even the smile, thanks, the thank you smile. You seen that? Let's go back.
All of a sudden, this marijuana is high.
Getting high to have fun or what?
Let's just one more thing, right?
Marijuana.
Look at that evil smile. You see that? He's like, "Oh, real MSC's really making it easy for me. We're gonna take down that weed menace." We're We're going to take down that weed menace. Marijuana isn't going to plague our streets anymore. We're going to do something about it. That's right. NBC has teamed up with us. Sickening. It is sickening to look at it. Look at it one more time. All right. Well, shout out to this plant for getting on NBC. This famous plant. This plant is famous. Shout out to that plant. Yeah. And yeah, man, I don't know what else to say about this. We pretty much said everything. Lobbyists, let's do a recap. All right, all these people that are against it are paid to be against it. And the people that paid them to be against it are just losing money because people are choosing a better product that doesn't kill you. And they want people to think that it kills you. And it doesn't. It's just a plant. You see that? That's just a plant. That's not... it's not grown with sharp knives that it ejects, you know, like a porcupine. It can't shoot knives at you, all right? Needles. It's not poisonous. You could eat every part of that plant and not die. What else? Makes good ropes, strong ropes. Yeah. You can make shampoo products from it. What else? Yeah, every part of this plant is basically, there's no part of this plant that could be a waste byproduct, because every part of that plant can be used for something. It's recyclable. If we built a facility that processed marijuana plants, it would not only be negative pollution, it wouldn't have any waste byproducts that would come from processing it, because every part of it could be turned into something else. So it would just get shipped off or sold to somebody else that's going to turn it into something else. We're actually making the atmosphere better by processing plants and stuff like this. We should work more with plants. Plants should honestly be everywhere. We should be growing plants on the side of buildings to make more oxygen. They're the planet's natural air filters. We need more of these. I mean, obviously, it's parts per, billion or whatever for oxygen production, but it's not just oxygen I'm talking about. I'm talking about taking the negative aspects, the negative chemicals, the negative things from our atmosphere and scrubbing it clean. And plants do that. We get most of our oxygen from the ocean. A lot of people don't even know that. It's crazy. Yeah, it's H2O. O's in there. Yeah. That's oxygen. Oxygen, water, and hydrogen. Hydrogen and oxygen make water. You burn hydrogen, it turns into water. It's crazy. And then you use electrolysis. You can split it back into a cycle. Yeah, anyways, let's take one more hit. Cheers. Cheers, one more hit. And one more time, shout out to this plant. God made it. He did a great job. Look at it. It's beautiful. That's his handiwork right there. All right. And cheers. Cheers in 3, 2, 1. Cheers. Thanks for tuning in, guys. Appreciate you coming by. Listen to what old Flash had to say. Cheers, everybody. Take it easy. God bless.